Hey everyone, this is Scott from Ink Products. In this video I'm going to show you how to install our continuous ink system for the Canon Pixma TR8620 or the TR8622a. System goes for both of those. So the first thing we have to do, the printer is powered on right now. What you want to do is, with it powered on, you're just going to pull the power plug either from the wall or the back of the machine. Okay, the reason for that is when we're going to be putting the ink system in, we're going to want to move the print head back and forth. So you never want to move that print head with the printer on, because it'll actually damage the printer. It'll actually damage these cables and stuff back there. Okay, the second thing, in your kit, when you purchase a continuous ink system, there's a few things you want to do first before installing it. These are what you call our little like silicone gaskets. And what you're going to do is you're going to put them on the top of the nozzle jets in the printer. So each cartridge has a nozzle jet. You're going to put these over the original. Do not take the original ones out of there. They stay in there. These are very thin. They go right over the top. The reason is it creates a great vacuum for the continuous ink system. So if you didn't put them in there, you're still going to get a good, it'll still operate perfectly. But we like to put these in there because it creates a good suction and it keeps the ink flow really well. So let me zoom in here. You can use some tweezers, or if your hands aren't too big, you can just go ahead and lay them over the top. Make sure they're flush. They're not laying over the top of that micro screen where the ink drops into. Once you do that, we're ready to go to the next step, which is the installation for the continuous ink system. And that's what they look like. Here's all your parts right here. See if I can get a good shot of that. Let's see. Yep, alright. Here's your continuous ink system. This is one of the hose brackets, and this is going to be your bypass. I'll get that out. I'll get to that in a minute. First thing with the continuous ink system, before you pull any cartridges or storage clips off the cartridge, what you're going to want to do is take this pinch clip that we give you and just go ahead and pinch it anywhere on the tubing. What that does is it actually stops the ink flow when you're going to pick it up and to put it in the machine. It'll cause a lot less head pressure when you put the cartridges in, mess on your hands. You might get a little ink on your hands. That's going to happen. So just get that out of the way. And I usually have some paper towel down. Ink is going to come out because it's been under pressure. So one by one, just going to go ahead and remove these off here and save these. You want to save these orange clips for the future in case you had to troubleshoot the machine or you had to remove the ink system for whatever reason. You're going to need these. Just pop them off one at a time. Like I said, if you have a little ink, the next thing you're going to do, have some paper towel like I said. You want to dab these off before we put them into the machine. Just like so. And make sure this paper clip is on here like I said. Go ahead and you're just going to put these in just like a set of cartridges. You're going to go right in there just like that. Make sure they're in the right slot, nice and straight. And real important, you make sure when you have them in here, make sure that they snap in. You hear that click, just like that. If you don't hear that, that means it's going to be sitting above. It's going to be sitting above the print head, and it's going to drip in there and it's going to cause flooding, and then you're going to have to purge the system and do a couple other steps. So make sure you hear that click. Next step, we're going to want to get our hose travel. Just kind of untangle this a little bit here. Keep that pinch clip on at all times until we're all set. I mean, I'm kind of doing this on my desk here just to do a quick installation video here, so bear with me. Okay, so now we got the ink system in. We want to ride this all the way to the left right now just to get it out of the way, so we can put our first hose bracket on here. It's just like this. It's a piece of Velcro on the back, so what you'll do is you can either just peel the backing, stick it in here, or you could take the whole backing off and install it like that. Make sure it's on there nice and flat, not curled up. And then just read your instructions. This is just kind of, like I said, it's like a basic walkthrough video on what you're going to be doing. But all you're doing is put that Velcro on there, lining the hose bracket up. It's going to stick out about 2 inches from the center of this cutout right here. So it's about like that. Make sure it's down. Next, you're just going to attach the tubing. And you want to kind of look, I'm going to get this done. You want to have it so it's not too high. If it's like this, if it's all bowed up like that and you go to shut the lid, it's going to wrap around in there and it's going to cause like it'll stop and it'll give you an error code and stuff. So what you want to do, you just want to find the perfect hose travel, what we call it. So I got it like this, about an inch loop maybe. Then you're going to drive it all the way back to this side, and that's about right. Next, this little second clip is on the big clip. Made it real easy. There's no more parts and pieces. This is real simple. You're going to attach it to the second little clip. Let's see if I can get it zoomed in on here, because this is really important here. So now the hose will route right out of the side where the panel is, in the front of the, the side of the printer. It'll just wedge down in here. It's not going to hurt anything. Once it's down in there, what I do is I put it in there and I just twist it. So it'll look just like that. It's not going to hurt anything, won't restrict the ink flow. It's very strong surgical tubing, so you're all right. But basically that's what it looks like. A little bit. Just like that. So it goes on there, comes across here onto that clip, snakes right out the side there. Ink bottles must remain the same level as the bottom of the printer. If you raise this up even for about a minute, you'll flood all that ink. You'll have a lot of head pressure and you have ink sitting inside of that printer, so you never want to do that. Once that's all installed, just one real quick, go back here, and there we go. Now you can go ahead and remove this pinch clip, because they're all sitting in the print head. It's fine. I don't want to unplug it yet. Now go ahead and return the machine on. Now what it's going to tell you, it's going to say you turn the machine off improperly. That's normal because we just unplugged it. It's not going to hurt anything. Okay, now that the machine is powered on, one last little step here. This is what we call a bypass switch right here. You're going to need this. What it's going to do is, it's when you shut the lid down, it's not going to close 100%, but about 1/4 inch from the top. And so the machine is going to think that it's closed all the way so it can operate and function properly. So I'm going to try to zoom in on this because it's kind of tricky to see it where it's at. But in the instructions, it's very clear. It's close up. There's a peg that comes down on your machine that will go into the bottom of the machine here, and it'll actually shut the bypass off. So what we do is we just trick it. It's a little piece of clear tubing basically with a black stop point. So what that means is you're going to insert this piece here just until you hit the black part right there. See if I get a nice picture on here. Just like that. You don't want to go too far up, too far down. It's going to be about right, just right there. I've already made it to the exact measurement. Now here's the trick. We're going to close the lid, and You zoom in on that LCD there. Get closer here. Okay, so when you're closing this down, you're not going to just slam it on down. You're just going to go nice and easy. It's going to go right into the slot. See, right now it'll say processing. So let's say you pushed it in and it'll still say covers open, covers open. You just don't have it in far enough, so just slowly push it down until you see that processing, please wait. Then you know the cover is completely down. See, it says power was turned off improperly. Don't worry about that. Just hit OK. You got your home screen. Oh, and the other thing is, whoever's running the machine, or if it's just you or whatever, never place a bunch of books or something heavy on here, because that'll actually put pressure down onto the hosing and all that stuff. So plus it might ruin your scanning bed. You still put, you know, anything under the scanning bed, that's not a problem, but just don't put heavy stuff on top of that. Next, you want to remember to open up all of your air plugs. Very important. So you can do that. These must be open when the machine is printing at all times. Just like that. And that's the whole install right there. It's really basic. Pretty much. Now I'm going to print a sample page out just to show you the hose travel, what the quality looks like. But that's pretty much it right there. Okay, so now I'm going to run a little quality print test here, to give you an idea. Here. Now you can make one of these up yourself. That's what I do. Just use all your primary colors and it's printing out. Now if you ever get an error code where something is jammed up in there, I believe it's a 1000 or 100, that's just because your hose travel is too tight, or you don't have enough, or it's too loose. It's one or the other. So there's the final printout. I'm going to do one more just to show you with the lid open. So how I do that, I just trick it. A scrap piece of paper here. This is just to show you the hose travel and how smooth it is and how it operates, just to give you an idea. You gotta fold it over a little once or twice. There you go. I'm going to print this out and you get an idea. Again, follow all of the current instructions that come with the system when you purchase it, that have all of the most updated, if there's any revisions or anything, you know, so follow those. This is, like I said, just a kind of a guideline to how it's supposed to look. Another important thing I suggest, we actually always recommend on any of our continuous ink systems, to run the machine on best or high quality and, you know, plain paper, unless you're doing photos or anything like that. But the reason is you want to keep that print head in there nice and cool. What that means is it's a thermal print head, so it heats up. So if you're running it on standard, or you should say draft, really, it's going to burn that printhead up, and probably within a year or two you'll be buying a new printer or a new print head. So just run it on best. If it's a little too slow for you, then, you know, go to standard, but we recommend best. And of course the quality is excellent. Now see, it's a little slower, but I have it on best, but it opens up 100% of the ink nozzles. And that's it. Again, if you want to close the lid, just make sure you get it into the little slot. Slowly push it till you see processing. Then you know the cover is at the perfect height, and you're all set. If you have any other questions or anything, just you can give us a call or email us at inkproducts@hotmail.com. Thank you for watching.